So I just wanted to add a little precursor to today's video in the context that now that we have signed up for the rally, the focus of the next few videos is going to turn to the boat itself. We've got a lot of issues with the boat that have been put on the fix-it list for a long time that are now coming to the surface, of course, because we're getting ready and we need to be ready to go on a certain date. So everything's getting pushed up, and that's what we're going to start focusing on. So today's video is going to focus on a problem we have with the exhaust system, and then we've got another video coming up with the starter. We're also booked to do a haul out with the boat before we leave for the rally. So that's going to come up also because we got some other upgrades and some maintenance that needs to be done out of the water. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, cool, be sure and stick around. The next few videos you're really going to enjoy. If you're not into the maintenance stuff and just waiting for the fun videos, then I suggest that maybe you have a look over here. I'll put a link so that you can go back and have a look at our SSL playlist. There's over 300 videos there you can entertain yourself with for the next few videos while we get this maintenance out of the way, and then we're going to be ready to launch the rally, and that's when the fun begins. So stick around for all that, and in the meantime, let's get fixing. So today we've got a repair going on that's been waiting a little while. I've got a problem with the exhaust system that started leaking a while ago. So this repair is going to happen in here. You can see Alcino's already in here digging out the aft compartment. And that's our locker. It's got storage in it, but that's also access for the rudder, the quadrant, and the autopilot. Everything else is back there. And it's a little bit cramped, but that is where the exhaust system runs through, and we have got a leak. So that's where we spend today. So the exhaust system is comprised of a few main components. We've got a water lift muffler that is right at the back of the engine, and it's a plastic muffler that has a big tube that goes directly down from the exhaust manifold at the water injection and elbow. And that takes all the heated exhaust with the cooled water, or the water that's been cooling the engine, goes straight down through that tube and into the water lift muffler. So we don't have any problems there. I've replaced the water lift muffler previously. They tend to last maybe 5 years or so. I've replaced it twice in the 15 years I've had the boat, and now I carry a spare on board also in case it ever blows again. Because if your muffler goes, yeah, you got a big mess, big problem on the boat. But this tubing is also the other problem. It's very rigid, it's very durable, but at some point it does degrade, and this is a very expensive tubing that is very hard to bend, move, do anything with, especially to install in the boat. So this is where our problem lies, because after the water lift muffler, about 4 years ago, I had a problem with the tube that comes right off the water lift muffler. It just ruptured and started leaking about 4 or 5 feet back from the muffler. And I found in researching, looking at it and everything, it was just the low point. It was one of the dips where water's always sitting when the engine's not running and it's just dormant. So of course the water over years and years and years of just sitting in there just degrades the rubber from the inside out, and eventually it just wears out and it blows a hole in the bottom of it, right at the bottom of any of these little arcs, and it just starts leaking. So that's exactly what we have now. I took out the piece that was broken last time and I replaced it with about a 6-foot stretch of this new tubing. The overall exhaust pipe, like all of this tubing, there's about 20 to 25 feet of it, and this stuff is worth $30 to $40 US a foot down here, and it's hard to find. I mean, you can get it at most of the bigger islands, St. Martin, Grenada, and things like that, but a lot of the islands you won't find it as readily available, but when you do, it's going to be very expensive. So what I've done in this instance, I'm going to show you guys a bit of a backyard repair, because we're going to do it as a field repair, and I'm not going to use the exact tubing that's in there, primarily because the tubing that is ruptured is right at a 90-degree elbow, and you can't bend this stuff. I mean, I can show you, but you can't bend this stuff. It is never going to turn a 90-degree. So they make 90-degree elbows out of fiberglass and things that you can put in there, but again, very expensive because of course they're made for a boat. So we're going to try something a little different today, something you can get at any hardware store. And I've already picked up a couple of splices. These are really good durable splices that I've used before. This is how I fashioned the last repair, so that was the first thing I checked when I got another rupture in the tube farther up from the last repair, is what's the status and condition of my last, like what I put in last time. And it's all in perfect condition, no problems at all. This stuff is really, really good. And I've got it in with double clamps on each side, so there was no leaks, no degradation, nothing. So it's in really good shape. So what I'm going to do is disconnect the existing one that's in there now, take out the piece of hose because it's right about here where it's actually leaking as it comes out, and then it goes to a 90-degree elbow to go up to the water anti-siphon loop. And that whole stretch, it goes up and across the top of the boat and then back down to the outlet at the back of the boat. That whole stretch is about 10 to 12 feet of tubing. So instead of trying to deal with replacing all of that and everything, we're going to cut it right above the 90-degree elbow right here, put one of these couplers on the tubing so it'll actually be like this coming down, and then we're going to take some regular ABS drain pipe, and that's going to couple into a piece of drain tubing. So that's what we have this. That's what we have this here for. This is regular ABS drain pipe, and it is very heavy duty. And I know what some of you are going to say, don't use that, oh my god, but this stuff is much heavier than what is actually used in the muffler that's on the boat right now, and it is not a heated pipe. So I don't have any problem with putting this in. I know even if it was heated to a certain degree, it's going to take it. There's very little pressure in the system. It's basically just water lift and that's it. So we're going to replace the dead piece of tubing with a stretch of this that's going to be about 1.5 to 2 feet maximum. It's going to go to the elbow, so the elbow will take it straight up to where we're going to cut it. And then this piece, there'll be another little piece of the 4-inch put in here just as a joiner, and then this will clamp onto that just like that. And that's going to be our fashioned exhaust repair. Sounds crazy, but we're going to give it a try, because this was a very inexpensive way to do it. I mean, compared to hundreds of dollars minimum for the exhaust tubing, this piece of tubing, you know, cost me about 20 bucks for like 10 feet of it, and I'm only going to need less than 3 feet total. We got a couple of these elbows, they're like $5 each, and a bunch of the rubber joiners, and they're not expensive either. They're like $5-6 each. So I bought a bunch of them with the hose clamps, and I got lots of spares in case anything happens or I need another one. So we're going to take you in now. We'll show you what it looks like back there as we cut out the old piece and where the existing splice is, and just see what it looks like. Okay, so we've switched to the GoPro now, just for access in tight spaces, so you're probably going to notice a difference in the sound quality, but hey, what can you do? So I've got my flashlight, and I'm going to take you guys back into the locker and have a look. So I think Alcino's already got some of the, because I store all the life jackets and everything here, so that's already gone. And right here, you can see there is the farmer splice. So that is the exhaust tube right there. Runs right up there, and you can see the elbow, and you can see where I put on some some tape, some duct tape to just seal the leak when it was small until we got here. Yeah, if you follow the tubing, you can see where it goes straight up, way up. So we got all this room in here that we're gonna cut it somewhere right in there and put in the new 90-degree elbow to raise this drop up a little bit, because this drop is bad. That is where the water is sitting, and that's why we have a problem. So we're gonna come back to this splice here, open it up, put in the PVC pipe, run it over to here to see what angle it lines up with that pipe, and then we'll cut that pipe accordingly and put in the splice. Sounds simple, right? Always sounds simple. Let's get started and see what we run into first. Okay, so now we've got our two pieces cut. This is the long piece to replace the major piece of hose that's damaged, and this is our short extension pipe for the lift going up. So basically, we're going to put, the elbow is going to be on here. I'm not going to put it on perfectly tight yet because we're just test fitting everything. This is going to go onto the coupler. We're going to put that on part way there. This goes into the elbow, like so. And then this is going to be our extension piece. So you can see the inlet is going to go here to the existing splice that's in the system, through here and up, and then the hose that's already in the bolt where we're going to cut is going to come right in there, clamp them all together, and boom, we should be good to go. Now there's going to be some weight hanging on this, so what we're going to do is both sides of this coupler, we're going to put some 5200, some 3M 5200 inside here as the pipe from the boat is going in, and here on the ABC piece as well. and that will lock it in, and that will actually help support the weight, so that even when it's vibrating and the engine's running and everything, it won't just slowly over time work its way out even if these clamps are tight. So that's the theory. Let's see how it works. Yeah, the angle looks like it'll line up over here.
That looks good.
And it's already in the pipe there, so that's good.
It just have to come a little bit more after.
Probably we just want to put a piece of rubber or something on this piece of fiberglass where the pipe is touching, so that over time they don't wear each other out. Alcino just came out with the other piece of hose, so this is the faulty piece here. And he said it just came off in his hands, it just ripped its way out. So this is all the tape pieces I put in that kind of did the temporary patch until we got here and could fashion proper repairs. But obviously this hose is completely dead and just ripped to pieces. So, time to replace. All good?
Yeah.
I'm in the way now?
Yeah. Let me get this thing over.
Okay. Got it. Whoops. Nasty. You can see why that's leaking, right? Gushing, more like it. Alright, so with that piece out, making some progress. Now we do a test fit on the other piece going in, and then start gluing it into position. Okay, so we got this piece just about ready. We've got all the PVC glue in there, it's all sealed up. Now we're going to put a ton of, like a good solid bead of Lithium 5200 on there, and put our rubber coupler. We're going to put that on first, get all the clamps ready and in position, so that this piece can just be lifted up and clamped onto the existing tube that's on the boat. Same thing, this end's all prepped, so we're going to put 5200 on that as well, jam that into the other coupler that's there, tighten it all up, and we should be good to go. We got Alcino over here, he's fastening up all the hose clamps, getting this coupler ready. We're just about ready to go.
We want to make sure this thing doesn't leak anymore. Look how many hose clamps.
Yeah, we're talking redundancy here. It's good.
We have all that, like 2 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Should be alright. You have to babysit it.
So with this project installed and complete, now we have to let the glue set for at least 24 to 48 hours before we conduct our first test. So stick around for next episode when we continue our round of repairs in preparation for the rally.